Okay, guys, who else is excited that spring is finally here? I'm just so ready for the longer days, the flowers to start blooming, the fresh rain smell. The world is finally waking up in color, and I don't know about you, but that makes me so excited, and I just want to create. But inspiration, she's a fickle thing. So today we are going to be setting the mood. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Adora Bao. I'm an illustrator and tattoo artist from Detroit. And right now I'm just getting over an injury and have been cooped up in the house for the last 2 months. But I've made it a point to keep my mind sharp with consuming creative media that inspires me to create art. So today, I'm going to be handing you my springtime visual inspiration mood board. It is going to be a little bundle of beautiful movies, books, and just creators who just get this season's soft, overgrown, but heart-squeezing magic. So if your creativity is still half hibernating, let's wake it up. Let's find that spring spark. So to start out the mood board, I'm gonna go into some animations. I specifically picked these animations for their visual elements and just how well they did things visually, maybe the color palettes, and how they embody that emotion of spring, but can also teach artists a thing or two about what direction to take their artwork in, or even like a skill they should practice. Okay, guys, no, for real though, if spring had a secret hideaway, it would look exactly like the secret world of Arrietty, Studio Ghibli movie based on a beloved British novel, The Borrowers. So Studio Ghibli transformed this novel into a visually lush, delicate world where everything feels both tiny and grand at the same time. If you haven't watched it, you definitely need to watch it. I know there's a lot of Ghibli fans out there. Sure, you already have. You already know what I get. You already get what I'm saying. This movie is a love letter to small things. Dewdrops, moths, the soft rustling of leaves, and to the artistry of nature itself. The way Ghibli animates the dappled sunlight filtering through the trees, it's literally mesmerizing. So, legendary Hayao Miyazaki co-wrote the screenplay, and he's known for his obsession with nature. Just look at his work, okay? He once said, "You must see with your heart and not just your eyes." And that is exactly what this film teaches us, to pay attention to the tiny little wonders around us. Arrietty's world in this film was inspired by real Japanese gardens, and Ghibli animators went on location to study how light moves through leaves, grass, and even tiny water droplets. I feel like if you were an artist and you struggle with backgrounds, watch Arrietty and pay attention. Pay attention to how they use the lights, texture, and perspectives to make natural spaces just feel so alive. I don't know about you, but I personally hate having to do background art, but I love background art. I totally respect the specialization in it. It's just so beautiful, but it's something that I always struggled with like, I don't know, I think it's more of like depth and composition. I was always like a focal point kind of person, so I usually focus my art on like subject matter versus like just a general background. And I know a lot of artists have the same struggle. But oh my gosh, like just watch this movie, see how beautiful it is, and it is inspiring me to want to incorporate more backgrounds into my own artwork. So yeah, check it out. Okay, so this second animated movie is by another Japanese director, another legend in the game, Makoto Shinkai's movie, Your Name. Okay, no, seriously though, even if you guys aren't like an anime fan, I know like some anime get like a bad rep because of certain fan bases or certain genres and niches, but I'm not gonna get into that. I really think that if you prefer like Western media and non-animated stuff, I still think there is some value to take out of these videos, just because of the sheer artistry that goes into them. I feel like there's a reason why these directors are so well renowned. And on top of their visually stunning media, you also get a heartwarming story to go with it. So, put that on, sit back, and be entertained. Don't be biased, just enjoy it for what it is. Now, Your Name is a masterclass in light. This movie is literally soaked in like the soft golden tone, some twilight blues, and the kind of magic that only exists in the quiet moments between night and day. You know what I mean? Every frame is painterly, it's rich, and dripping in emotion. Like, no, seriously, any point in the movie, just press pause and you'd be like, wow. Wow. Yeah, no, seriously though, director Makoto Shinkai, he personally oversaw the color grading of every single shot, and if you look at his past movies, you can kind of see his mastery and like what his style is. And again, like the setting for this movie was also inspired by real locations in Japan, but not just like taking inspiration, like actual locations, to the point where fans had literally made like a pilgrimage to go to these locations and take photos of themselves there. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I think as an artist, what you could take away from this movie is by studying the way that Your Name captures light, especially with reflections and little neon glows and the soft diffused sunset tones. It's just like, I don't know, the way Makoto Shinkai's style is, it's just so like dreamy in a way. I feel like it is the perfect reference for artists who want to master color storytelling.
Hey, who are you? Who is he? Someone precious.
Okay guys, I'm not just gonna put in a bunch of anime, I've got some Western media for you too. This one is Wolfwalkers, the magic of overgrown worlds. Guys, when I tell you, this one is just so cute. Okay, so this was made by Cartoon Saloon, which is an animation studio, who's also behind The Song of Sea. And this film embraces hand-drawn textures, bold shapes, and intricate Celtic designs to tell a story about freedom, transformation, and just the untamed magic of nature. Now, spring isn't just about soft pastels, it's also wild, tangled, and full of energy. And I feel like this this movie really embodies that mood. If you guys saw my book and draw video from last month, where I got the book from Reynolds Stone, who is an English engraving artist, well, this film's animation style was inspired by art like this, specifically medieval woodblock prints, which is why the background looks flat but so intricate, like pages from an ancient book. The character designs literally changed based on emotion. When the main character turns into a wolf, her lines become looser, wilder, and sketchier, and I think that is just such a genius way to visually express transformation. I really feel like the recent animated films, they've been becoming more creative and just visually expressive. Like, don't even get me started on Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse. Oh my gosh, that studio, amazing. Chef's kiss, gorgeous. So, as an artist, what could we take away from this movie? I really think this movie is valuable to watch, not only for the really cute story, but to inspire you with experimentation, with stylization. Not everyone has to be hyper realistic in their work. If you look at my art, it's not hyper realistic. I've been on a journey to just hone what feels right to me in my own style, and I feel like Wolfwalkers proves that bold, expressive lines and limited color palettes can be just as powerful. If you are a beginner artist or you haven't really found a style that really feels like you, I really feel like this animated movie could be so inspiring and hopefully gives you some visual cues on maybe what else you could do and experiment with different mediums or different textures or different styles.
Was it installed every day?
These wolves, they're just beasts.
Tonight, we put an end to this.
Okay, another Western film I want to share with you, which I feel like we have all already watched, but maybe like not since we were like 5 years old. It is by a huge company. It is from Disney. Disney. Okay, so the last time I watched this movie was, yeah, I'm guilty, probably like when I was like 5 or 6, but I watched it again recently. And guys, it is just so cute. And I know a lot of us are going to be a little hesitant to rewatch it because of the heart feel. But no, it is actually like really cozy. The movie I'm talking about is Bambi. Yeah, the deer and the little thumper rabbit. No, seriously though, I feel like this is one of Disney's most painterly films. It feels like you're stepping into a vintage watercolor book. It's so soft, like the soft edges anyways, the rich pastels, and the glowing highlights that makes the world feel like really delicate, alive, and super dreamy. Now, shout out, represent Tyrus Wong. He's a Chinese-American artist who revolutionized animation with the soft, focused, atmospheric landscapes. This is another movie to study if you want to get better at your background art. It's just so iconic. You have to watch it. These animators actually studied real deer for months. That's crazy. Like, you know, obviously I get like seeing a reference, but no, they sat there and studied real deer for months, sketching their movements to really ensure that they could create natural, fluid animation. Okay guys, done with animated movies. I want to move on to some physical art media. Now the first one, I don't know, it could be a little controversial, but it is a tarot deck. And aside from individuals choosing to use them as like a self-reflection tool, I know there are other people who don't like the stigma behind them. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion on this media, but even if you are into them for their original intended use, guys, don't knock it completely. First off, reframe your mindset. Things can have different uses, and I want to tell you another use that tarot cards can have. Art pieces. Literally, look how many art prints I have. Wow, can you imagine like if an artist was selling like this size print, they'd probably sell it for like maybe $1 to $2 each. But I got like this whole deck for like, I don't know, maybe like 20, 30 bucks. Guys, don't be knocking tarot cards. You don't have to use them for what other people use them for. You can use them just to appreciate the art on them, okay? This one specifically is one of my all-time favorite artists in the world, Stephanie Poon Moon Law, who specializes in watercolor. Just look. I love how Stephanie doesn't make everything super apparent. Like most tarot cards, let's say it was like 5 of Wands. Here, let me see. This is the 5 of Swords. Let's say like most tarot cards would be like 5 of Swords, and they just be like 5 swords on the actual card. But for this one, look how she beautifully incorporates the swords into the art, where it's like subtle. And if you are into tarot, I feel like because of this deck feels really fluid and organic, encouraging intuition and storytelling that fosters like a deep personal connection. And if you aren't into tarot like that, I feel like because it is subtle and the subject matter is so enmeshed into the actual artwork itself, it doesn't feel like you're just looking at a tarot card. It feels like this whole art piece. Like, guys, just look. This was my very first ever tarot deck I got in maybe like 2014 or 15. I had discovered Stephanie's work online. Was it Instagram, or I don't even remember how I found her, but I just knew I had to get a hold of this. It's just been such a pleasure to be able to just take in all of the detail and the colors and the subject matter. If spring had a tarot deck, it would definitely be this Shadowscapes tarot. This deck is just pure visual poetry. But seriously though, like every card, it is an intricate painting. Like when Stephanie painted these, they weren't this size. They were like huge, okay? And let me tell you, each one is so soft yet rich, but has details that unfold the longer you look. And it has been such a pleasure to just like spend 5 minutes on each one and to just analyze. It's just an artistic mastery. Stephanie, you are amazing at what you do and so inspiring. The way Stephanie has mastered her craft, oh my gosh, like she is a master. She is a senpai. She's got these soft mix of purples, golds, misty blues, and her techniques are very apparent in the way she gets certain washes and the way she like masks certain things. And I can't even explain it to you. You just have to look and like wonder what kind of technical expertise had to have happen to create such a beautiful deck. And her artwork in this deck is heavily inspired by Asian folklore, Celtic mythology, and Art Nouveau, which first off, there are like not a lot of artists who can combine Asian folklore with like Celtic mythology. What a combination. I just absolutely love that. If you love fantasy art, study how Stephanie layers delicate washes of color and an intricate line work to create depth and movement. Her work is just such a masterclass in flow, composition, with soft yet bold contrast. If you are into watercolor, she is a must. Her work you need to study. Ugh, amazing. And maybe if you're not into watercolor, that's okay. Even I feel like other mediums can still take note. If you're into color pencil, gouache, acrylics, I think there is just such a beautiful thing going on here that she masters so perfectly well that you can find value in it. And the last piece of physical media that I want to share with you guys today, I actually just got like a month ago, and it's been such a delight to go through it. It is the art book Ritual by Erica Williams, aka Hookie Duke on social media. Okay, now guys, I've just been obsessing over this. Just like the Just like for Stephanie, I've been a huge fan of Hooky Duke for, I don't know, I feel like it's been like a decade. I've been following them on Instagram for so long. It is a collection of their intricate, hauntingly but beautiful illustrations in black and white, and some with a touch of color. Seriously though, their art is so rich with symbolism. You'll see witches, animals, bones, flower, a bunch of nature, and drawn with such a level of detail that makes them feel so alive. Hooky Duke has been such an inspiration even in my own art. Now, she has done gig posters, album art, and commissions for bands even. With these works, she's bringing her signature bold line work with lush compositions into the music world. Very exciting for them. Now, if you love working with line art like me, I would heavily encourage you to either get this book because beautiful, or check them out on social media. And I really feel like the way they use contrast, negative space, and flow really makes their artwork feel textured and dimensional with or without color. I absolutely love this book. I've been oogling it and like looking through every page. Like, I don't know, I feel like their work just really gives off spring, but without being super overly cutesy. There's like this elegant, dark feel to it, but still, hey, obviously, it's still spring, bitch. Yeah, they got it. Okay, let's get all up close and real. So let's move on to creators who I feel really embody spring. Another one of my personal favorite artists. Now, if spring had a dream, it would probably look like the art of Ulla Thynell. Her work is this delicate fusion of fantasy, folklore, and nature, where every brushstroke feels like it was kissed by morning mist. Guys, seriously, I've been like just so obsessed. She paints these lush storybook like forest scenes that just seem to be so enchanting and mysterious but magical. It's like you could almost hear the whispers of the wind just be like, hey, it's spring. I really feel like Ulla's work is just a love letter to nature, filled with woodland creatures, enchanted landscapes, and this dreamy fairy tale lighting. Her color palette is very soft and ethereal, often incorporating a cool, misty haze that makes everything feel like a fleeting memory. Like I said, if spring was dreaming, this would be it. Now, she works across traditional and digital mediums, but her art always feels like it retains this hand-painted texture quality that makes it feel really organic and intimate. Now, can we just like appreciate some of her work? There's just this deep sense of narrative in her work. Like every piece is a glimpse into a magical little world. And I actually bought a shower curtain with their design on their Society 6, and I'm telling you, it's like the main focal point in my bathroom. They don't sell the design anymore, but here's the image of what the piece of art is. It makes my bathroom just feel so cozy and magical. As an artist, I feel like we could really study her use of texture, the way she layers soft washes of color to make her work feel very atmospheric but immersive, and just see like the way she captures light. There's like this sense of movement in her shadows and highlights, and she just really embraces nature as a storytelling tool. Even without characters in her work, the landscapes just feel so alive with like emotion and story and presence. I have just been so obsessed with their work. Like, huge fan, huge fan. If you're looking for an artist whose work feels like a fairy tale woven from spring itself, I really feel like Ulla just hits it home with this. She's absolutely one to study and to get lost in. Now this next one, they aren't per se like an artist like painter or whatever. This person is a YouTuber and they have just the coziest channel. They are called Our Cottage Life. Now, if you could bottle up that feeling of a slow, peaceful spring morning and turn it into a YouTube channel, you would get Our Cottage Life. This channel is just so cozy. Like when I am just in a bleh mood, I like to put it on in the background and it just makes me feel like infinitely better. Honestly though, it's like this little warm embrace, a quiet retreat into this little world that Our Cottage Life has built. Like everything is just so aesthetic. Like they have just mastered framing and storytelling with like very little dialogue. And the way that they've like directed each video, it just seems like this world where everything is allowed to move at a slower pace, and the beauty of everyday life is celebrated in like the small moments. Like each scene is just this little snippet into like a what could be world. And this YouTube channel is all about slow living, homesteading, and seasonal rhythms. It's the kind of content that makes you want to breathe deeper, step outside, and reconnect with the simple joys of life. The visuals of this channel are very soft, earthy, and immersive, making you feel like you've stepped into a storybook, but real life. There's an emphasis on seasonal rituals like gardening, baking, foraging, all the little acts that make spring feel alive and meaningful. While this channel isn't specifically like animated and like painted or whatever, I really do feel like as an artist you can find value in watching content like this, and especially the way that Our Cottage Life just directs each scene. The cinematography, like every shot is composed with care. You can tell there's like intention behind it. It's balancing soft light, earthy tones, and natural texture. It's like a moving mood board, but like the whole video, and they have a bunch of videos, okay? And you can tell there's a lot of attention to detail, whether it's the way the flower dusts a wooden countertop or how sunlight filters through the trees and they choose to get that exact scene. And I really think that it is a lesson in observing and appreciating the beauty of small moments. And the color palette is just very earthy, very muted, soft greens, warm browns, and delicate florals, which I feel like is just very cozy, and especially for artists looking to infuse a cozy vibe into their work that has like a sense of natural calm. I do think it's like a great study piece. And in a world that moves fast, I love how this channel reminds me to slow down, breathe, and create from a place of peace rather than pressure. So yeah, shout out to Our Cottage Life. Your videos bring me so much joy and calm, and I hope others will find that magic in it too. This is my second video of seasonal recommendations. If you missed my first one, go check it out. I did one for the winter. An outcome that I would hope to come out of doing this whole little seasonal series is that other people are inspired to surround themselves with media and imagery that inspires them to create. Sometimes art block really gets us, so I really hope that one of these recommendations inspires a new idea to you, or inspires you to try something new with your own work, or get on to practicing that one thing that you don't feel like you're good at but want to be good at. Like for me, background art, you know, sometimes it takes seeing someone else do something amazingly for you to be like, oh my god, that is possible. Now, I just know I'm so excited for spring to finally be here. I just know that I am vitamin D deficient, and I just can't wait to get some sun on me and hear the birds singing and the bees buzzing, but not too close because I want to scream. If you made it all the way through, let me know what springtime visual inspo has been filling your soul lately, or if you really like one of the recommendations. And if you want exclusive art and content, check out my Patreon. I just launched it. I launched my sticker and print club. So, you know, if you want some cool goodies mailed to you, make sure to join that. Oh, and by the way, here are my March sticker and print club merch. You have till the end of March, the 31st, to join my Patreon for you to get these physical rewards. I have one just for a sticker or a tier for both the sticker and print. So check it out, see what you like, get them all, get the one, doesn't matter. Actually, it does, because it'll make me really happy, and it will make me feel like something's actually coming out of all of this. But anyways, happy creating, friends. Goodbye.